Hey there, CJ Math Scholar. So tonight I'm going to help you out with homework 1.7, reviewing fractions. Please make sure whatever I write down in this paper goes on your paper. Watch the entire video, show all work. To prove to me you watched the video, I want you to write this BC logo. I watched my Eagles get beat by the Yellow Jackets this weekend. So here we go. So first, a fraction is in simplest form when the greatest common factor of the numerator and denominator is 1. So a mixed numeral is the simplest form when the fraction is in simplest form and has a value between 0 and 1. So basically all you need to do is divide the numerator and the denominator by their greatest common factor. So some examples here, 6 and 12. I could divide 6 and 12, yes, copy this down. I could divide 6 and 12 by 2, and then I get 3 over 6, and then I could divide that by 3, and by 3, and I get 1/2. So I come to the same answer, but dividing by the greatest common factor, I do it all in one swoop. Same thing here. In fact, the only greatest common factor 14 and 21 have one are 7. Basically, you ask yourself, what number can I divide both of these by? So let's start off with 1a. So on 18, the greatest common factor for 18 and 20 happens to be 2. So I divide them both by 2. I get 9 over 10. I can't simplify that anymore. That's my answer. Let's do a problem like 1b. So 3 and 18 over 24. Now I could do 2, but that's actually not the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor actually happens to be 6. So I leave this alone. It's still 3, and 18 divided by 6 is 3. 24 divided by 6 is 4. I have to be able to divide both numbers by the exact same factor in order to simplify. So for 25 and 95, they both end in 5, so I divide them both by 5. That doesn't necessarily work every single time, but that's at least a place to start off. And I get 5 over 19. How did I know it was 5 over 19? Well, I know 100 divided by 5 is 20, so if I just do 100, one less group of 5 and get 95, I know that 5 times 19 has got to be 95. All right, so you're going to do all the evens on your own. So for least common multiple, basically what you're going to do is the smallest multiple that is shared by two numbers. Rename fractions so they have common denominators, finding the LCM of the denominator. So for instance, this is going to help us when we try and add fractions, or subtract them. So 1/2 and 3/3. Like, how do I find 1/2 and 2/3? I multiply them both by 3, right, to get them to have 6 as a denominator. So let's write this out. 1/2 and 5/8. Can I make 2 become something like 8, or do I have to multiply them by something else? Well, I can. I can multiply 1/2 on top and bottom by 4, and this gives me 4 over 8. And now look, it has the same denominator, so I can just leave 5/8 the exact same way. Right? Let's do this one. 1/4 and 3 over 10. So I can't multiply 1/4 by anything to get it to become 10. So let's think, what number do they have in common? So I have 10, 20, I can list them out, right? So I'll list out my 4s, I'll list out my 10s. So I'll say my 4s are 4, 8, 12. These are multiples, not factors. 16, 20, 24, 28. And I'll do the same thing, for my 10s. And I'll stop when I have the least common one. So 10, 20, 30. Oh, I can stop because look, they both have 20. So basically you ask yourself, all right, what number do I have to multiply this guy and this guy to get them to 20? Well, this one I multiply by 5, and this one I multiply by 2. And so I have 5 over 20 and 6 over 20. All right, let's do number 5. So you have 1/3 and 3/5. So I'm going to list out my thirds, and I'm going to list out my fifths. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. I can stop there, probably 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, I can stop because 15. So I want to get these guys both to become 15. So I'll say this one I can times by 5, and this one I can times by 3. Notice I do the exact same number on top and bottom. So this becomes 5 over 15, and the other one becomes 9 over 15. All right, we'll do 1/6 and 2/9. So that's my 6th and my 9th. So I have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, let's stop there. We have 9, 18, 27, 36, oh, I can stop, look, at 36 here and 36 there. So I said, how do I get this guy to become 36? I multiply by 6. How do I get this guy to become 36? I multiply it by 4. Knowing your factors is key for this homework, obviously. 6 over 36, and 2 times 4 is 8. 8 over 9 times 4 is 36, right? Backside. So changing mixed numbers into improper fractions is as simple as, you could do all this stuff, but really it's just going ahead and saying 2 times 4, which is 8, gives you 11 over 4. And then changing improper fractions, when you have a bigger numerator over a smaller denominator, that's an improper fraction. You divide the denominator into the numerator. This is your whole number. What's left over is your new numerator, and you keep your denominator and then make sure it's simplified. So here they divided this by 3 because they had 3 in common to get 1/2. All right, so the first one is going mixed to improper. So 3 times 8 is 24, so plus 24, I get 29 over 8. 9, how am I going to do that? Well, really this is just 9 over 1. And they want you to change it to an improper fraction, so basically you just say 9 over 1. Any whole number can be made into a fraction by putting it over 1. 2 times 7, which is 14, so we get 17 over 7. 5 times 2, which is 10, you get 11 over 2. 4 times 3, which is 12, you get 13 over 3. 4 times 9, which is 36, and you get 43 over 9. 1 times 5, which is 5, you get 7 over 5. And 47, remember it's a whole number, so you can just make it, put it over 1. Right? And lastly, doing improper fractions, right? The numerator is bigger than the denominator, into mixed numbers. So 3 into 10. 3 goes into 10 3 times with 1 left over. So it's 3 and 1/3. Got this 3 from right there. Got this 1 from right there. Oops, I'm doing it even. I shouldn't do that. 4 into 15. 4 goes into 15 again 3 times. Gives you 12, because if it was 4, that'd be 16. That'd be too much. So 3 left over. So this is my 3 here. This is my 3 here over 4. 3 and 8 over 3. So first, let's go ahead and change this to an improper fraction. So we have 17 over 3. Now we can go ahead and divide 3 into 17. So 3 goes into 17 5 times. There's just 2 left over, so I get 5 and 2, keep the denominator thirds, right? 12 into 18, 1 left over, minus 12 gives me 6, so I get 1 and 6/12, but I can simplify this, right? So divide by 6, they're both even. Divide by 6, I get 1 and 1/2. Sorry, circle your answers. Always try and circle your answers. And then 5 and 5/3. Again, it's a mixed number first, so let's change it to improper. So we get 20 over 3. So now let's go ahead and do 3 into 20. So it's like going to mixed to improper and back to mixed, basically. Because this is a mixed number with an improper fraction. That's no good. We don't like that. So 3 goes into 20, not 7 times, but 6 times. 2 left over, so I get 6 and 2/3. All right, the rest are yours. Call me if you have questions. Make sure all this is copied down. Good luck.